Booster 19 is picking right back up where we left off in the last episode of Starbase Summaries. Remember, I watched the video. I'm not going to sit here and analyze it for 4 hours. I'm just going to tell you what I see. You tell me what you see down in the comments, because what we see right now is Booster 19 on Pad 2. Now, down in the comments, I saw some confusion last time. This is actually the launch mount. I think some people didn't recognize, thinking that this was like a static fire stand or something like this. They were looking for the old Star Stool sort of Pad 1 mount setup, and that is not this. This is the new design for the launch mounts at Starbase. You can see the umbilicals there, the quick disconnects for the booster on the right-hand side. Going to get a gratuitous tilt up from Caesar here, but this is the launch mount for Booster Flight 12. This is sort of the setup that they're looking for going forwards, I guess. New designs on the boosters. Got some nice weather out there. Caesar catching the shots of the 3 grid fins. They're now sort of like pancake octagonal shape. There's a little bit of differences between them, but you got the 2 on the side and the 1 on the back. They seem thicker. Is thicker the right word? Beefier for sure, because do you see the bottom of it? There's a little part, oh, hey, venting. There's a little part sticking down, and there's no catch pin underneath that booster anymore, or sorry, underneath the grid fin. There aren't any underneath the booster at all, but they're going to catch these boosters with the grid fins, and that's that little, you can see it, it's a little different color. It's almost like a little slotted thing sticking down from the root of the fin. Would that be the trunk of the fin? I guess the root would be inside the ship. Whatever. But some venting over there. Look at this. There's some grid fin testing. This is 5x speed, based on the handy-dandy comment there. Appreciate you, Thomas, the editor who put this one together. Puts most of these together, actually. Look at that. I think this was the real-time speed. I hope I read that right. But again, we talked about it a little bit last time, not needing all 4 of them on there like we had in the older booster designs. Upgrades here in this new booster design where they don't have the catch pins. They're just going to catch it right on the grid fins. The best part is no part, but you still got to have some part there to catch it. It just so happens that there's already something sticking out the side of the ship. Looks like a waffle iron. It'd be a terrible waffle iron. You'd put your stuff on it and it would all like fall through. Like you couldn't iron any waffles with this. But we've got the hot staging ring, the new sort of upgrades to the hot staging ring up there. We don't see the big blast plates or anything like that. You see that big dome up at the top. Of course, right above that are going to be the 6 engines on the Starship itself, the 3 Raptor vacuums, the 3 Raptor sea levels that when they hot stage this thing are just going to straight up roast that dome up there. But what do we have? We have some testing coming up here. There is a DSS test. It's not the Democracy Space Station, even if all of you voted for it to hover over Starbase. Why would you do that? You don't need to do that. It's already peaceful. That was the detonation suppression system, sort of mixing up the old environment underneath there, trying to get some nitrogen and some misty water in there to make it less likely to detonate like that. Yikes, you bet, concur. Pap. We don't need any more of these in the intro video. We got some folks with some brooms. We clean and FOD foreign object debris off the top deck there. This has been a new thing for us. This lighting here on that new stand is super tough. There's some really bright lights that point right at the camera. So we'll see if we could dial that in a little bit. It's just a tough environment, especially when it's hazy or misty, foggy, whatever you want to call it. All right. Cryo operations, it looks like. Took 3.5 minutes to fill. You've got to be kidding me. It's all good. We're just going to leave the Windows noises in there. What else can you do? It's fine. And then we get into the testing here. Just massive plumes. Now I think that's coming from the tank farm. This is just the perspective here. This is that, if I'm not mistaken, it's been dubbed the box fan, I think, in the background there. It is not coming from the mount itself. Now, you can see the frost on the ship. Do you see the humidity in the atmosphere freezing to the outside of the ship? If you're new, remember, that's just stainless steel. It's not like a vacuum-walled vessel with 2 stainless steel skins or anything like that. It doesn't have any SOFI, SOFI, the spray-on foam insulation, like you see on SLS, the shuttle. The orange spray-on foam was insulation. This is just, on one side, super cold cryogenic propellant, and on the other side, the atmosphere. And so you get this sort of setup where the moisture in the atmosphere freezes right to the outside of the booster. Of course, If you're watching this video, you probably already know that. But I say it anyways because you never know when somebody new is going to find the video and be like, oh my gosh, look at that. That's actually really cool. Is that normal? Why does it look like that? It's literally moisture in the atmosphere freezing to the outside of that thing. You would not want to go and like stick your tongue on that. Your tongue would freeze, and then security would show up. You'd be in trouble. It would just not be great. Actually, I hope security would show up before you got there to stick your tongue on it, but, who knows. Road's supposed to be, I think the road was closed for this. Yeah, of course the road was closed. There's those big, massive vents. If I'm not mistaken, and I would honestly defer to, like, Alex and the rest of the crew, Ryan, on how this works, but if I'm not mistaken, that looks so mixed up because there's big fans that blow on that to sort of disperse it, might be the right term. I hope that I'm saying that right. I need to sit down and be on a stream with them. I don't know if y'all know, I've been on the road. Have been. I continue to be on the road right now, but I got some free time today, thanks to our friends over at Firefly Aerospace and their fantastic, successful, nominal mission yesterday for Stairway to 7, Flight 7 of their Alpha rocket. Good times over there with the folks at Firefly. So here we've got that pipe, the venting pipe that was sort of installed around the corner here. There's some mystery venting from the engine area. It's very brief. There you go. And I think there was some speculation, like, is that a spin-up or something? Was that like some sort of spin-down, spin-up? It was energetic. It came out pretty fast, so it looked like it had some pressure behind it versus sort of cascading away, right? But once again, I watch these videos. This is one great way that I can keep up with what's going on at Starbase. You may be like, well, how are you qualified to talk about the video if you don't already know what's going on? Hey, you know something? I'd hang out with any of y'all and we'd sit here on the side of the road and we'd do some good old Texas tank watching and figure it out, because that's honestly half the fun of the way that we get to sort of see things going on over at Starbase. Well, what is this? I mean, that's like, you can see the line going up again, but is it, I'm trying to guess what yeah, look at that. I needed to see it. No, don't activate the Star of Peace, please. We don't need to do this here. Sorry. This is actually super tough in there. The lights in there were so bright, and it looks like the Class A citizens are going to start running out of there to the other bright light or whatever. Can anybody tell I've been on a video game kick lately? It's just very bright, and the way we had these cameras set, it was difficult to see what was happening underneath there. One of the reasons I do this is because I have fun watching what's going on. I know some of y'all probably won't like, oh, well, here is the Mark 32 air separation unit, which can process 8.3 gigatons of atmosphere per day. But hey, that's Starbase updates. Those happen on Mondays. I'm not that guy. That's not me. So we see them continuing to work on this air separation plant. I mean, all joking aside, this does suck the atmosphere out of the surrounding sky, literally, I guess. And through witchcraft, which is also known as sufficiently advanced science, it creates different gases that are useful to SpaceX. Like, remember, your normal atmospheric mix has some nitrogen, some oxygen, et cetera, and you can suck in just regular old air and not distill it. You can separate it. It's an air separation unit, right? And then use those there at Starbase so you can hopefully reduce the number of trucks that are running up and down Highway 4. That was the apartment complex real quick. I'm sure everybody would want me to talk at length about that. Starship Park Groundwork. So that area in there where that belly dump just let off some dirt is supposed to be maybe the new rocket garden or something along those lines. Got to get the old patriotic SpaceX logo, American flag waving there. Palm trees down there. That's something for everyone. Here's the Gigabay. I think this is the first time we've seen Gigabay Construction here. Of course, construction continues on the Gigabay here for quite some time. Oh. Are those temporary just sort of work areas that they can stand on? It didn't look like they were starting a floor there. That maybe just looked temporary to me. Got some unpainted steel up here. I do appreciate, like, there's a painted steel on the bottom, the unpainted steel on the top, and we got some welding, it looks like, happening there in the background. But I do appreciate it. I read all the comments. I'm not kidding about that. And folks being like, oh, yeah, of course they need to use rollers. They can't spray it, right? I read the comments, and I learn something every time I get down there. I also ignore some of the comments, too. So this is that new ship stand. We speculated in the past that those 3 upgoers there, upstickers, are for... Maybe they mate or they match where the Raptor vacuums are. Maybe that's for some thrust simulations, rams, or something like that. There's the booster transport stand in the background. It's not the booster. It's the, here you go, the round part with the ship-looking portals there. They've been doing some upgrades to that we've been watching. Let's see. I think they were cutting something. You can see how it's spraying out to the side there. And over at Massey's, you can tell this is a Massey's cam because it's shaking a little bit. We need to make a new mount for it in our copious free time. Putting this cap back on the test tank. This has been going back and forth. Good grief. I swear to you, I turned those sounds off before I recorded this, but that's the rules. I only record it once, no do-overs. I watch it for the first time, and I react to the video and explain what I see or think is interesting or whatever. But in any event, that's the Starbase summary. I don't think we're going to have a Dutch track on this one. As always, I appreciate y'all hanging out with us. We will get you on the next one, and we will see you nerds later.